women facing homelessness right now, I need you to hear this. You are not alone. There are so many real steps and services that can get you help and get you back on your feet. Too many young adults hit a wall and we don't give them no roadmaps in schools. But today, I'm breaking down exactly where you can turn for food, shelter, safety, and a fresh start. And even if you feel like you've lost everything. So let's talk about it. The reality is that schools don't prepare us for moments like this. 1 minute we're at recess, hanging out with our friends, and then the next minute we're aging out of a foster care system, leaving a toxic home, or just not having the support system you thought you had. There could be any amount of reasons why you're inside of a difficult situation. And when you're 18, it can feel like the whole world expects you to have life figured out at that very instant. But instead of worrying where you're going to sleep tonight or where your next meal is going to come from, and if that's you, stick with me. This video isn't just advice, it's a survival guide. So step 1, we're going to talk about emergency shelter and safety. First, let's talk about shelter. If you don't know where you're going to sleep tonight, your priority is safety. Across the US, you can call 211. That's a free hotline that connects you with shelters, food banks, crisis resources in your area. And for immediate safety, especially if you're escaping the domestic violence situation, please call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-SAFE. That's 1-800-799-7233. They're 24/7, confidential, and they can help you find a place fast. While I'm fully aware of the stigma around living in a shelter or asking for assistance from one, these are very, very helpful tools and resources, especially when you're out of options. Now, let's talk about step 2, food and daily needs. Now, every human deserves food. That is a basic need that should be met across the United States and across the world. Doesn't matter who you are, you're a human, you deserve food. Now, there is resources everywhere that can help you, starting with Feeding America Food Bank located online, or you can once again call 211 and ask about local food pantries. Many cities have community centers and churches that can provide a free meal daily. Don't ever feel ashamed of using these. They exist for a reason, to help people like you when life hits hard. And in other situations, if you feel like you need a clean shower or a restroom, there are some gyms where you can buy a day pass for only $5. And then some of them, like Planet Fitness, also offers them for free. But that varies from location to location, so I would definitely look into that. And when it comes to Wi-Fi, your local public libraries or sometimes fast food restaurants offer Wi-Fi that you could just use from standing outside of their building to complete whatever task you're trying to complete. Now, let's talk about step 3. That's long-term housing and support. Once your other 2 basic needs are met, and that's shelter and food, let's talk about your immediate needs and how to get those covered. Next, you can look at long-term stability programs like HUD's Continuum of Care, Youth Helpful, that's youth homeless shelters, and transitional living programs are also built for young adults who need more than just a bed at night. These programs are here to help you with housing, job training, and even counseling to get that old noodle checked for your mental health, so that way you can repair and rebuild your independence step by step. All right, step 4, let's talk about education and work opportunities. I know money and opportunity feels impossible when you're in survival mode, but there's programs, especially for young adults in your situation, that can help. Job Corps, I'm sure you guys have all heard it. They offer free training, education, and even housing for people ages 16 to 24. And sometimes community colleges can also have emergency grants and housing assistance for students in crisis. Now, these resources aren't always advertised loudly, but they can literally change your path. And I will link the link for Job Corps down below. And you can also Google where the closest office is next to you. Next, let's talk about number 5, mental health and emotional support. Now, being on the edge of homelessness or being homeless isn't just a physical struggle, it's an emotional struggle. Depression, anxiety, and feeling hopeless are real battles. And if you're struggling, you can call or text 988. That's a Suicide Crisis Lifeline to talk to someone right away. There are also free counseling services throughout shelters, YMCAs, and also nonprofit organizations. Now, reaching out for help is not a sign of weakness, it's a strength. Asking for help is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign that you're strong enough to know that you need help and that you're not alone in this fight. When you're younger, you may not be aware of how important taking care of your mental health is, or even what self-care is, but these can have long-lasting effects that will make it harder to deal with day-to-day life. Life is already hard enough as it is. We don't need anything else adding to it. When you have the economy the way it is, politics, social situations, and family, everything can just be up against you. And your mental health is probably the last thing you're thinking of, when it should be, in reality, the first priority that you're thinking of. In Massachusetts, I grew up in the foster care system. So just like many of you, at the age of 18, I was ready to age out. I thought I had the world figured out. I moved into my own apartment, but I didn't succeed. And the reason why I didn't succeed was because I thought I knew everything. I wanted to be on my own, and I was not as prepared for the world as I thought I was. Having no support, financial knowledge, or someone to guide me and lead me through all my mistakes and struggles would have been helpful long ago. That's why I'm here, to teach you the stuff that they didn't teach you in school. If you're 18 and facing homelessness or facing any type of tough situation that you don't know how to get out of, let me just tell you that your life is not over. And this does not define who you are. It does not define what your future is going to hold. Use these resources and take it one step at a time. And just remember, you're not alone in this. If this video helped you, share it with someone who may need it, or subscribe for more real-world advice that schools never taught you. And together, we can make sure that no young adult feels invisible. Until then, take care, guys.